Hey, good morning everybody. It's Dave here. Holiday for two. Welcome to Arizona. And it is right now the middle of November when I'm filming this, and we are having temperatures in the 40s this morning. Yes, in the 40s. That's why I've got my hot coffee. Love it. For those of you who are not familiar with Arizona and maybe are thinking of making a trip out here, or even those of you that live here in Arizona, I'm going to share with you 5 places to come and camp in Arizona in the springtime or in the fall. And I'll explain what makes these good springtime campgrounds in Arizona. So we'll just jump right into it. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that little dingy bell on the side so you'll be notified when I put out more helpful videos. I hope helpful in the future. Let's dive into it. Spring camping in Arizona. Here we go.
So someday when my ship comes in, I know just what we'll do. We'll pack our bags and quit our jobs and have a holiday for two. We'll pack our bags and quit our jobs and have a holiday for two.
All right, so what makes good spring campgrounds in Arizona or fall campgrounds? All of these campgrounds that I'm going to share with you fall within a certain altitude, and that's really the secret. These campgrounds all fall between 2,500 feet and 4,500 feet. The sweet zone would be around 3,500 feet. See, altitude in the springtime, it's everything for finding a good campground. Some of these campgrounds will be paid campgrounds and some of them will be free campsites. So there'll be a mixture here for you. Let's just start right in and jump into number 5. Here we go. Number 5 is Catalina State Park. Just 15 miles north of downtown Tucson, you'll find Catalina State Park. This campground has over 120 campsites with electricity. It also has hot, clean showers and a dump station. This is one of my picks because I would give this a 5-star rating of campgrounds because it is one of the best campgrounds in the Tucson area. There's a few others that I've mentioned on other videos, but I'm going to go ahead and just talk about this one today. Catalina State Park. You can reserve these campsites through the Arizona State Park website. I'll make sure to put links below in the description below for you so you can click on them and find how to reserve these campsites. Catalina State Park, you can reserve for current price right now is $35 for a campsite, and it has a 14-day stay limit. Now, why did I pick Catalina State Park? Well, for a couple reasons. It's a great altitude. It sits about 2,700 feet. So it's perfect for springtime camping. You're not far from Tucson, so if you want to go into town, if you want to spend a week here and want to go visit things in Tucson like Sabino Canyon, Pima Air Museum, things like that, they're all relatively close drive. So it's a great place to come to do that. There's bird watching, there's hiking, there's equestrian trails all around the base of the Catalina Mountains there where your campsite will be. So it's a great pick, I think, for springtime camping. Let's jump to number 4 pick. My number 4 pick is Bloody Basin Road. Bloody Basin Road is a road that extends on the east and west sides of I-17, just a few miles south of Cordes Lakes, Arizona. It's a small community that is near the junction of the road that goes to Prescott. Now, Bloody Basin Road extends both sides. Some of the areas along Bloody Basin Road will be dispersed camping in the Tonto National Forest. There's areas that will be BLM land. There's also some areas that will be state trust land. And there will be some areas along Bloody Basin Road that will be part of the Agua Fria National Monument. That's good. And so to stay anywhere on Bloody Basin Road, there's no fee, but all the campsites, of course, are first come, first serve. If you go to the west side of Bloody Basin Road, if you exit the I-17 and go to Bloody Basin Road on the west side, Tammy and I stayed there last year. We did a video on that. check that out. I'll put a link up here so you can click on it and watch that video. And I did an extensive drive around with my quad and showed some sites that you can camp at on the west side. On another video that we did while we stayed there, I did the east side, and I'll put these links up here for you to click on. But there are sites on both sides of the freeway, east and west. No charge, but it is first come, first serve. Let's see, something else about Bloody Basin Road. Most of Bloody Basin Road is graded gravel with a few areas where it's washboard. So most of you should be able to get to any of those campsites along Bloody Basin Road until you get farther and deeper on the east side of Bloody Basin Road. It does get rougher as you go farther along Bloody Basin Road, but most of it's graded dirt road. So with a little bit of washboards occasionally. So just be aware of that. And some spots that you find along Bloody Basin Road will be big enough for maybe 2 or 3 units, rigs. Some of them will be small enough for just one. So it's really a mixture of up and down the road. But it sits around the altitude. Bloody Basin Road sits between the altitude of 3,600 and 4,300 feet in that area. So you're going to have campsites that'll be a little higher, some that'll be a little bit lower. You're also just north of the Agua Fria National Monument, which is an incredible place to go visit. There's hiking opportunities if you have an ATV or a four-wheel drive vehicle, then you want to do some four-wheeling or some off-roading. Great opportunities along Bloody Basin Road. So check it out for spring camping, and it's free. It's BLM land. If you're on state trust land, you will need a permit. Agua Fria National Monument, you don't need a permit. If you're on BLM land, you won't need a permit, but there's a 14-day stay limit. Cell service, I can't exactly remember. There are areas that you will have cell service and areas where you won't, just because of the terrain. I'll say, so be aware of that. All right, let's move on to my number 3 pick for a spring camping area. Number 3, 7 Springs on Cave Creek Road. 7 Springs on Cave Creek Road. Recently, Tammy and I took a trip up there in the truck. It's about a 30-minute drive north of Carefree and Cave Creek, Arizona, up Cave Creek Road. It's a dirt road, again, graded dirt road. And we stopped at a campsite called CCC, or Triple C, otherwise known as the Civilian Conservation Corps Campground. And I'll put a link up here for the video that we just recently did on that. There's 10 spots available there. You will need a Tonto Rim Pass, and that currently is $12, I believe. You can get those Rim Passes at the Tonto Ranger Station, and I do recommend you get that before you go out there. Now, I didn't see any rangers checking for passes, but they do occasionally go out and check for passes. You will need a pass to camp at the CCC campground. However, along Cave Creek Road between Cave Creek and the CCC campground, there were some dispersed camping spots along that road. I always recommend for folks, if you come out to Arizona, have a good map with you that shows you where state trust land and BLM land is. And I highly recommend Gaia. Another one is the X Off-Road map. I've just started using that. I like it. But Gaia is also very helpful. And I'll put links down below so you can check those out. Let's move on to number 2. My number 2 pick is another campground. It's part of the Arizona Park System, Arizona State Park System. And that's Patagonia Lake Campground. Less than an hour south of Tucson and roughly a half an hour north of Nogales, Arizona, close to the community of Patagonia, is Patagonia Lake Campground. Patagonia Lake Campground has 105 campsites with electrical hookups. Some spots are close to the water, some spots are a little bit back from the water. That's what they call boat-in campsites. They have 105 sites, 30 amp hookups. I think a few of them even have 50 amp hookups, clean hot showers. There's a marina for the boats. There's a little store there where you can get gas and ice. That's real close to all the campground areas within walking distance. And Tammy and I visited Patagonia last winter. We did a video on Patagonia, so I'll put a link up here for the video specifically on Patagonia. But Patagonia, the cost for Patagonia State Park campground runs $25 to $30 currently. But as always, be sure to check the park websites because prices have changed on some campsites, and sometimes they change pretty fast. So do check ahead of time. All right, let's go to my #1 pick for spring camping in Arizona. And I really love this place. Tammy and I both do. It sits around 3,000 feet, roughly. You got areas around here where it goes higher or lower, and that is, ready for this? Camp Verde, Arizona. And the area near Camp Verde that we really like is kind of northeast of town, Camp Verde. This is all part of the Coconino National Forest, and it's dispersed camping. I did a video on Camp Verde and some of the dispersed camping that we stayed at. I'll put a link up here in the corner. One of the places that we like to go to is called the Bullpen, and it's along the dispersed camping road. There's a little road that actually goes in to what's called the Bullpen. And no, there's no bulls there. There may have been a long time ago, and that ain't no bull. In the past, they may have had like cattle down there, but right now the Bullpen is just a name for it. But it's a great spot to go in the spring and the fall if you want to do some swimming. And one of Arizona's natural swimming holes is down in the Bullpen. It's about a mile hike from where you can park, and maybe even less than that, but you can hike in to the natural swimming hole at the Bullpen or near Camp Verde. There's a West Clear Creek is actually the creek that runs through there. Now this whole area is great for spring camping. There are a couple of campgrounds near Camp Verde. One of them is West Clear Creek Campground. I'm trying to say that, and maybe I need another sip of coffee. West Clear Creek Campground is a campground that's close to the main Highway 260 that goes up. If you leave Camp Verde and go up Highway 260, you'll go right through the Clear Creek Campground. The altitude there is great for spring and fall camping. What to expect in the springtime in Arizona? The weather, springtime weather is perfect. Can you camp there in the winter? Of course you can. But do expect if you camp in those areas in the wintertime, it can get chilly. Patagonia is at 3,700 feet, 3,800 feet. It's not unusual to see in the wintertime temperatures drop into the 20s and high temperatures in the low 50s. And occasionally, believe it or not, it will snow in Patagonia. You're at 3,800 feet, and sometimes snow level drops to 2,500 feet. So you can even get snow in Catalina Park. So just be aware of that. But the nice thing is in Catalina and in Patagonia, you're hooked into electricity, so you can run your heaters and not have to worry about running down your solar power, right? So that's an advantage. So I hope you found this helpful. But before I close this, I want to share something that I'm really, really excited to share. And I found 2 books recently, and I want to share the first one with you. This one is called Outdoors in Arizona. And I hope you can see that on the video. This is not one that you can buy at Amazon. I had to find this book on Etsy. But if you're thinking of camping in Arizona, oh my goodness, I had this book for years and years and years, and I lost it somewhere along the travels, moving, you know, wherever I was moving around to in the years. We lost it, and I couldn't find it. But I had to buy it from an Etsy store. But it's Outdoors in Arizona, a guide to camping. And this was the 1988 edition, I believe it is. And it's got 3 authors, Bob Hirsch, Marshall Trimble, and Joe Beeler. And if you can find this on Etsy, get it. It's such a cool book. It is full of stories and cowboy stories and campfire stories, plus great campground information, albeit a little dated because it was done in the 80s. But this book is like, for a long time, this was my camping Bible. It even has some really good camp recipes in here. So I also found a newer version of it, also by Arizona Highways, This one is called Arizona Highway Camping Guide. Arizona Highways Camping Guide. A guide to 100 of Arizona's best campgrounds. And the author is Kelly Von Kramer. Kelly Von Kramer is the author. I got this book on Amazon, and I'm going to put a link so you can look for it. This is 100 of the best campgrounds in Arizona, and believe me, these are staying with me, and I'm going to hang on to them. But I highly recommend, if you want to come to Arizona and do some camping, or if you live in Arizona and you've never seen these books, look for them. Oh my goodness, this one is chock full of information on campgrounds like Mather Campground, Clear Creek Campground. That was one I just talked about in near Camp Verde. Oh my goodness. And this one's, of course, it's been used. It's a used edition. I got it on Amazon, but you can still find these on Amazon. And I'll put a link so you can find it. The link. This is the 2013 edition in 2013. So some of the information in this book is a little dated because it's 11 years old, but there's still a lot of good information on all these campgrounds. They do say in the book to be aware that prices change over time. So, but the funny thing is, some of these campgrounds really haven't changed a lot. I mean, they may have been $8 11 years ago, and now they're $15. That's really not too bad. If they went from $8 to $15 in 11 years, that's not too bad. It has gone up, but things will probably go up a little bit more over the next couple of years. So just kind of be aware of that. But this book, check it out. I'll put links below for that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hey, get out and explore Arizona. Spring, winter, summer, fall, it doesn't matter. There's great places to camp. Just, you could count on Arizona always having a hot summer. And in the summertime, we go to the mountains. But right now, it is cold. That's why I've got my hot coffee. I love it. Have a great day. Safe travels, everybody. Don't forget to hit the like button. Catch you on the next video. Bye.